We first looked at the different winery locations throughout the Yarra Valley, and then we began to profile these wineries to understand what the opportunities are for our site. So our design concept was to utilize the high and low points, which formulates openings towards the surrounding landscape, create a strong lineage across the site, as well as integrating the structure with the natural topography. Ultimately, we created a ruled surface which were based on the free form curves inspired by the landscape itself. It was about creating views and vistas over the landscape and to the vineyards. As you enter off Old Hillsville Road, you come to the car park and then the entrance forecourt. Then you have the option to go to the rooftop event space or down below within the winery itself. Our sections show the dynamic ruling of the surface as well as the openings towards the landscape. And the interior off the first floor shows the dynamic ruling and the light cast from the skylights. This is from the ground floor, as well as the rooftop area where you can look over the whole Yarra ranges.
Yep, and I'm gonna start with computational design. And then we start with 4 lines to generate a root surface. And then we have 2 optimization, which is the first one, form optimization, and then the structural optimization. And then last, we also have the mirror joint system with the cast-in-place concrete cladding.
Our proposal for Denton's winery is inspired by the 8 main stages of wine production: harvesting, crushing, fermentation, pressure, filtration, aging, bottling, and consumption. So we believe to experience the production of wine in tangible form is in fact to experience the shape of wine itself. We notice these spatial translations resulted in a tension between line and curve, lightness and mass, and smooth and rough. It was for these reasons we chose to explore the geometric form of the hyperbolic paraboloid, as they're generated from straight ruled lines, not unlike the parallel vine rows of the vineyard, yet produce a double curved surface. The shell structure touches both the ground and concrete block structure lightly, while freeing the spaces beneath. From one direction, the underside of the shell is read primarily as a progression of ruled elements, and from the other, it is read as a series of parabolic curves that frame the view. So as evening approaches, both restaurant and bar remain open and glowing from within. Our winery floats gracefully in the Yarra Valley sky. So due to the geometric nature of the hyper shells, it's possible for them to be cast in situ using scaffolding and timber formwork. So focusing on one shell segment, we see that prefabricated steel columns are firstly erected, to which the steel space frame scaffolding is also added. This allows the ruled timber supports to be positioned, upon which the final timberboard work is then laid. Steel reinforcing mesh is then placed on top, along with 100mm concrete cover. The scaffolding and formwork can then be removed once the concrete has been cured. So we expect the entire shell structure to be completed progressively segment by segment, allowing for a greater flexibility to the construction process. A shell that expresses concrete as a material that is scaleless, plastic, and lightweight, juxtaposing with the concrete masonry blocks, which express concrete as rough, modular, and solid. So we believe this contrast can be seen by comparing the cellar and the gallery. One is dark, orthogonal, and sunken into the earth, where the other flows gracefully towards the sky, aspiring to lightness. So to achieve this lightness, we believe the junction between the hypershells and the arched columns are vital and have shown an exploded axonometric detail to explain how they come together. So this section detail here at 1 to 5 shows how the 3 shells are connected by reinforced mesh belly beams and are treated with heat insulating mortar and resin-based mortar with a urethane-based water repellent to waterproof the shell.
So here the section showing the overall geometry of the grid shell. Form finding computational workflow demonstrates the design process. The active bending timber grid shell is ready to put into finite element analysis to see the structural performance. The solar radiation analysis is utilized to design the cladding. For easy transportation purpose, the length of the timber elements will be limited to 3 meters. For our project, construction method used is called east-down method.
So the first step is to set up the modular scaffolding pure up system at the highest level, which is the peak of the design grid shell. Gently lower the multi-prop jack to bend the edge down. This is a 3D diagram showing the connection between the edge beams and the building structure. The next step is to connecting the timber bracing to the grid shell and install the timber cladding panels to the timber shear blocks.